there's been a lot of tumult after Brexit, after voters' decision to exit from the European Union. I'm wondering what that might mean for Northern Ireland, for the island of Ireland, and for peace.
Well, I think that most importantly, our belief is that there should be no return to a hard border. And that means that perhaps a Norway-type model with Great Britain as it relates to the European Union. But the people in the north of Ireland voted to stay in European Union. The people in Scotland voted to stay in European Union. And the people in Wales and England voted to leave European Union. But my simple request to Prime Minister May and to others, as I've engaged with them even recently in the last few weeks, is that our position is going to be one that is unyielding, no hard border with the Republic of Ireland.
On the flip side, do you believe that it's time to talk about more or even push for an island-wide vote on unification?
I do, and I think that if you remember, that is part of the Good Friday Agreement. And Strand 2 of the Good Friday Agreement was always the most significant because Strand 2 allowed Dublin a consultative role in Belfast. That was a big deal for us who supported the nationalist position. We wanted that full engagement with people on the entire island. So I can't say with great confidence right now that a referendum would pass, but I do think that the engagement of the Scots with another referendum question is going to be a powerful anecdote and reminder. And I think that the Republic of Ireland is moving in the direction. They're suggesting that Brexit negotiations has to include a provision for a united Ireland. But I must say this as well. After now 3 decades of peace and no more bombings and no more sectarian murders, there's another very important consideration, and that is people in the Republic of Ireland and the people in the North who have a national identity, they have to convince the Unionists that they will not be absorbed into a religious state, that they can maintain their traditions and maintain their history. You know, one of the great things about America, it's a unity without uniformity. We are free to practice and express religion and cultural issues as we see fit. And I'd like to see that in terms of a referendum question in the north of Ireland. And also something else I think is a very hard-earned lesson. You were not going to bomb the Unionists into a united Ireland. And if in the Carolinas in America and Tennessee, they have a very proud tradition. They were a very important part of Washington's army. And I also think that at the same time, when you have 40 million Americans who claim some heritage that relates to Ireland, I think that we were clearly honest brokers, and the American dimension in the peace process was indispensable.
To pivot off that now with the specter of potentially somewhere down the road a vote for unification on the island of Ireland, what role should America and should Irish Americans play as this moves forward, as the Brexit process moves forward?
Well, I think that one of the things that we have to do is to convince those who don't want to join a united Ireland that there is no threat to their culture or to their religious status. And I think that
that's something Irish Americans can be involved in?
I think so. I think it's very important because in America we learned the lesson of the idea that you could be an American and share a religion that was not one that belonged to the majority. And that's the whole notion of religious and cultural pluralism. That's what we want to do, and I think convincing others, if I might use the moment to defend Jefferson and Madison, one of the great gifts to America was the idea that there was not state-supported religion in America. I mean, when you look back at what state-supported religion has done across the globe, and you compare that to the whole notion that Jefferson, who was a nominal Anglican, a deist, but also took the position that because he was a deist, that, by the way, you should know he went to church when he was going to run for president. You're surprised to hear that, I'm sure. And, but he convinced Madison to ask the famous question at the Constitutional Convention, which, incidentally, is 230 years old as of last Thursday, when Madison, his star pupil, asked the question, if we're to have state-supported religion, which one? So those that might have been desirous of having state-supported religion, when they figured out that theirs might not be the one, they decided not to have state-supported religion.
Final question on this. Just you personally, not representing the policy of America, but as an Irish American, would you like to see a vote on the island of Ireland for unification?
Yes.
When?
Vigorously so, and I hope it's in the near future.
In the near future, okay.
Yeah.